Hello, guys, and welcome to the Bench Podcast today. Just a quick one. I hope you enjoyed last week's episode, our special, and we hope to do more in the future. To my right, we have Ethan Cunnison. Say hello.
Hello.
And below me, we have George Bennett. Say hello, George.
Hello.
Why are you taking my intro for, babe? That's my signature. Get your own.
Already, this has set
fans. Let us know in the comments below who does it better.
And this is already set the tone for the type of podcast we'll be doing today. As you might recall, a few weeks ago, which got quite a lot of attention, which is thank you very much for watching it. Me and George did a debate about Wolves and who will think how badly they were struggling. Well, obviously, since then, Wolves have picked up quite a few points in the middle of the league. So it just shows you what the effect we have on teams that they listen to us. So
it's the Bench Podcast.
It's written in the script.
In
today's debate episode, the second one we'll be doing is one that's pretty much a big talking point in football at the moment, with two hot strikers who have had very good weeks in the Champions League and well, not so good domestically yesterday for Kylian Mbappe, but in terms of his just performances recently. We're going to be doing who's better, Kylian Mbappe or Erling Haaland, and I've got a few questions to ask George and Ethan, who are going to debate their answers to you. Obviously, got a lot of good.
King, before we start, I want to say to everyone, I want everyone right now, if you're new to the channel, like and smack subscribe on before we start. It's for free. It doesn't cost anything. We're not charging anything.
You gotta like just press subscribe. We're not we want you to
just right down here somewhere at the bottom. Just click it. Just click it.
Also guys, leave one of his account details and so you can send him the money for $1 if you subscribe. So
we want to fund the mukbang, you see.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, so to my first question.
Well, we need to know who's on what side first, Kingy.
Yeah.
Okay, well, George is on the side of Kylian Mbappe.
On Team Mbappe.
Ethan's on the side of Erling Haaland.
Yep.
For me, both players that, in my personal opinion, are on the same level. But obviously, these two might have different opinions, and obviously, I'm not involved in that. I'm just giving my quick analysis. That's me done. I could go on a lot longer, but I'm not going to. And we'll get started. So, the first question we have today for this debate episode is: who do you think at the end of the season will have the most goals scored? So I'll let Ethan start first on his case with Erling Haaland.
So, the best young striker in the world, 20 years of age, an absolute bagsman. So, at this moment in time, if I got the stats up already, in the Bundesliga, Haaland has scored 17 goals in 17 appearances with 3 assists. And I think currently he's the top scorer of the Champions League, if I'm not wrong, with 8 goals in 5 appearances. And in the cup pardon?
I swear it was Rashford, the top goal scorer. Or he was.
Nah, it was second. Yeah,
no
it was
way.
second.
He won't be now. He'll be taken down by that. Obviously, we'll carry on.
But yeah. So, bagging in the goals, absolute bagsman. And it's basically halfway through the season already. Also, just to add, he did have some time out through to injury as well. So I think he would be up there with the likes of definitely the Bundesliga, with the likes of Lewandowski. I think Andre Silva's bagged in quite a few in the Bundesliga, but Haaland's up there. Like the way he plays is like the way his stature is very bulky. You think he'd be very heavy on the ball, like a kind of like a Lukaku or Lewandowski type, but he's really quick on the ball and his finishing, I can argue, is better than Mbappe's, if I'm honest.
How many goals did you say he'd scored this season so far?
17 and 17.
I would just like to quickly say something. Lukaku and Lewandowski are the top goal scorers in the domestic league, so Lukaku's still a very good player.
Yeah.
That's enough. That's me. That's my point said.
You're saying about goals, Ethan, and Mbappe's he's only on 16, which it's only one behind him.
What? How many games?
He's played 22 out of 26 for PSG this season, but but he can still catch up to that the way that the French league is. I know obviously PSG struggled yesterday, but with the quality of opposition in the French league, it's almost a given that Kylian Mbappe will be getting more goals this season. Because if you're comparing to goal scoring, it's more likely that Mbappe will end up getting more goals than Haaland in respective leagues, because you got to look at the quality of the league basically. Well, obviously it doesn't really show. It doesn't really help Mbappe's case for like how competitive it might be. It shows that he's still scoring goals at a top level in football. And obviously, you got to bear in mind, he's been doing it longer than Haaland as well. Haaland's only just recently come onto the scene, while Mbappe's been around for a lot longer.
Are you mad?
He's been around longer.
I know he's older, but you can't say that he's just come onto the scene.
Haaland only came into people's consciousness like last season.
Are you mad? Like normal fans like who like just seen football due to like seeing it on Twitter, but Haaland's been banging in goals since his like the Salzburg days, and
that's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is he came onto the scene when he was at Salzburg during that season before he joined Dortmund halfway through the season, didn't he?
Well, yeah, but back in
not every fan's going to know before what Haaland was doing, but Mbappe been for a lot longer.
But you need to remember he was only at Salzburg for a season. He joined when he was at Mulder. My very good friends, Oli Solskjaer, brought him into the fold at Mulder, getting in the goals here. He scored 14 goals in 39 appearances. Then he went for Salzburg for a season, scored 17 in 16, and then halfway through, and then in January he went to Dortmund.
Yeah, but while Haaland was still, he was still say, and he just starting his career scoring goals in like a high level. And Mbappe was already winning leagues with Monaco, and then obviously he had his big move to PSG.
He'd already won the World Cup as well. He'd already won the World Cup.
It's any other team other than PSG to win a league, so you can't take that away from Monaco.
Plus, he'd already won the World Cup as well.
Exactly. Well, obviously we'll probably get onto that a bit later as well, because in that case he's already a step ahead of Haaland for trophies because he's won a World Cup, which I know. Go on.
I do have to agree with George on this one, Ethan, because although I agree with your stats are correct, Haaland probably was on a good run of football, definitely developing his game in those seasons. He wasn't, because obviously the Austrian league and the Norwegian league is not very well published, is it? You know, it's not a big league. And obviously Salzburg weren't doing very good, or they weren't really posing a big threat in the Champions League. But that, I think what it was, because Liverpool were in the same group, Haaland's recognition come because he was literally banging in goals. He scored a few against Liverpool. He scored a few against other teams in there, and then he's just recognition got. And then as soon as he moved to Dortmund, people started realising it. And then in this last year, he's become a big star player. So obviously he's had a massive upturn in status tonight. But
if you
I
put Kingy,
agree with Jordan on that one.
The question you're asking, who's going to score the most goals? And I think Haaland, even with a struggling Dortmund side who's currently sixth in the Bundesliga, he's still one of the top goal scorers.
I do agree with you on that, but I'm just saying on the point George made, I'm not saying about this bit of the topic. I'm just saying on the whole point made, I'm saying George has a point that he has only been in it for a year. So that bit I agree with, but obviously that's not the whole point. But he's made a good point in that topic I've said.
Okay.
You've also, just quickly, you've also got to consider the quality of teammates that Mbappe's got around him. Obviously, you've got Neymar, you've got the likes of Di Maria, you've got obviously,
You say that, Benny. Haaland's got probably creative-wise one of the best wingers in world football at the moment in Jadon Sancho. Creatively, he's up there with Messi. Sancho is more than Neymar.
What?
And stats wise, Sancho is the top 5 assist makers in the last 2 to 3 years. That's facts. That's
I don't think you
facts.
can compare him to Messi.
He's up, no, I'm not comparing to Messi, but stats wise, he's up there with assists to Messi. I'm not saying he's on the level of Messi, but I'm saying in the level of assists that he's brought to Dortmund, he's done around the same amount of assists as Messi. That's facts.
I think personally, if we come this part of the question, if I have to, who I think is giving the more conclusive stuff, I will say, personally, I'm going to go with Ethan on this part, just basic on the point. I think that Haaland at the moment, as much as Mbappe is still a fantastic player, and I think technically, I think he probably is a little bit better. I think in terms of goal scoring at the moment, I'll have to agree with Ethan on this one. So for me, this part, Ethan's 1-0 up at the moment. But obviously, there's 3 more questions to go, and there's still plenty of time for you to win the full debate. So have you got anything else to add to that, or do you want to go on? Do you want to produce a second question?
We can move on.
Okay. Who do we think will leave their current club first? Who's more likely to move first?
To start first, because obviously
George can start. George can start. Yes.
Well, obviously it's well known that both players are linked with big teams. Obviously, you've got your Real Madrid, you've got Man City as well. PSG obviously for Haaland in that case. I think for me personally, the one who would probably leave first for me, I'd say Haaland, but in my opinion, I don't think he should be moving on. I think he needs to have maybe another 2 seasons at Dortmund just to get consistent, really, because bearing in mind his career has been quite fast paced, obviously, because bearing in mind he wasn't at Salzburg all that long, and he started at Molde, then he went to Salzburg. Now he's on his 3rd club already, and he's how old is he now? Haaland? He's only just
20.
He's 20, which is quite early for a player to be moving clubs that early, and he needs to settle down with Dortmund and get used to playing at a high level. While I think with Mbappe, I think he's been obviously he was starting player for Monaco before he joined PSG. He's obviously the main international with France, obviously currently, and Mbappe obviously is a settled he's settled in the PSG side. I mean, in that case, maybe you could see Mbappe moving on in terms of maybe wanting to change his career, maybe trying to just try something different. And obviously, there's clubs in around for him, really. So
I think
early on.
A part of it, I do agree with you with the whole Haaland situation. The reason why, for me, I think Haaland will probably leave first is mainly due to his agent in Mino Raiola. Raiola is very well known for having clients who move on quickly in their careers. We've got the likes of Ibrahimovic, who's been at loads of clubs during his career. Like Pogba, for example, he left from Man United's Man United's youth academy, went to Juventus, spent 2-3 seasons there, went straight back to United, and now he's in the process of potentially leaving Man United.
Then you got Balotelli as well. You got
Balotelli, who's left loads of clubs in his career. If normally when you're an associate with Mino Raiola, he's known for getting loads of agent fees with moving on his players quickly in his career.
It's not really that's it's not really it's not really for his benefit. It's more for Raiola's benefit.
So I do agree with you with if Erling Haaland was going to elevate his career, maybe he would. I do agree. He would have to. I think he should stay at Dortmund for at least a season or two. Maybe win a Bundesliga, help him win a Bundesliga. But
exactly, that's true.
But for me, mainly due to his agent, I really see him leaving in the next. Maybe I don't see him. If I'm going to be honest, I don't see him moving in the summer because I highly doubt they'll. It's very well known that Jadon Sancho is going to leave in the summer. It's very well documented. I highly doubt Dortmund would let go of both Haaland and Sancho in the same window. I know they've got a lot of money problems, at the moment, but letting go of two of their star players. Now they've got the likes of Reina coming through. They've got Bellingham coming through. That young striker. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but one of they've got that young striker that's coming through the academy at the moment.
Yeah.
But I really doubt they're going to let their two headline names go in the same window. So for me, I'd say Mbappe is probably most likely to go in the summer. He has said that he would want a new challenge. What that club is next,
well,
we'll
his
see.
Contract's up in a few years, isn't it? That's why
Exactly.
he might be angling for a move. And the way I see it, basically, we could put it down to is really Mbappe should be the one to move on first. But I feel Haaland's probably the one who's going to move on first because of the agent situation. That's what I don't
think Mbappe. I don't think Mbappe will leave this summer. I don't think Haaland will leave this summer. But if I had to,
PSG want Mbappe to sign a new deal because his contract's out soon. So
yeah, I think in this current climate, it depends how desperate both clubs is for money. Because in this current climate,
are not desperate for money.
Exactly. So in this current climate, you're going to be getting both players for pennies, according to how it could potentially be. You could argue
you got COVID as well. That would
exactly.
You
could argue with Haaland. You probably want to sell him off now for a higher price because not next season, the season after his release clause comes into play in 2022. I think it's around 60 to 80 million. His release clauses. So you could argue that if clubs are desperate to get him as soon as when he's a bit more expensive, maybe Dortmund would want to let him go in this summer so they get more money compared to how much they'll be getting in 2022. So that's another factor.
I honestly think, personally, Haaland's decision will be just on how Dortmund start performing. If Dortmund do really well in the Champions League this season, I mean, I don't think they'd win it, but you never know. They could do. They're free to up against Sevilla. So, and there's teams in there that they could beat because they've got the players to. They might just focus on the Champions League. So, if I had to pick who I agree with the most who's going to leave, I think Haaland will leave first.
Personally. I think we both.
The question is, what we should talk about: what club do you see them going into next in their career?
Obviously, there's obviously some jokey things going on at Liverpool linked with Mbappe. I mean, depending on our season this season, it's become less likely for me. You can't rule it out because of maybe COVID rules, and obviously, if we sell the right players, we could maybe go in for him. But obviously, Real Madrid, you can't write them off for any sort of transfer. Obviously, with both Mbappe and Haaland, they're obviously looking for the next big thing. And
I mean, I'd love it if Man United got. I know it won't. It's not going to happen. But if Man United got Mbappe and Haaland, oh my god, that would be like. I mean, I think
it wouldn't really work. I think, like for me, when it comes to looking at it as a United fan, I prefer Haaland than Mbappe because there's a lot of similarities in. I'm not saying he's better, but there's a lot of similarities in Rashford's game than Mbappe. That they're very identical in their style of play, and we don't need Mbappe. I wouldn't take Mbappe than compared to Haaland.
For Liverpool, personally, I think Mbappe would probably work. Well, I'd have either, to be fair, obviously based on the quality that they have, but I think Mbappe would suit our style of play more. Obviously, with the strikers that we have, obviously we're quite fast on the counter and both like Mane. It's safe we sold Firmino. Obviously, for like Mbappe would probably slot in the centre. Maybe it's like in that area, and he'd have that low centre of gravity and the sort of fast dribbling style that our attackers have really. Obviously, I know they're not showing it this season, but if you can maybe change that to suit Mbappe, then it might be quite beneficial for us. But yeah.
Well, as I said, I think personally Haaland will leave first. So that's that.
But the question is, what club do you think they'll join next? Realistically,
Haaland will go to Man City.
You think?
and I think Mbappe will go to Madrid.
Yeah.
Mm.
I'd
It breaks
say
my heart.
that's
It breaks my heart, but it's looking like really more likely with the needs of Aguero, maybe leaving Man City this summer. I think Man City will pull the trigger in, getting probably one of the greatest scoring talents of his generation.
And also, you got to add to the fact that Haaland, obviously, his dad used to play for City as well, so that might be a bit of a beneficial thing for.
But so the third question that we have that I've got to ask is, out of the two current strikers we're talking about, who do you see? Could you see any of them being in their prime better than Robert Lewandowski?
Okay. Should I go first?
Go on, you first, because I started, didn't I?
With Lewandowski, like, let me get his like stats up to like show the brilliance of Robert Lewandowski. Because
he is the best striker in the world at the moment.
Yeah, by far. He's 32. He scored 26 goals in 21 appearances. In the Champions League, he scored 3 goals in 4 appearances. At this moment in time, he is the best striker in the world, and he's been the best striker in the world for
a couple of years.
For a couple of years now.
The last 2 or 3 seasons, definitely.
Yeah, when Luis Suarez had his decline.
Suarez is doing pretty well now.
Yeah, but like he's on a decline.
He's not the level that he once was. Obviously, Luis Suarez. He's a different sort of player to Lewandowski.
Lewandowski at the moment is in his prime. He's in his prime. See the numbers here. No, he's in his prime at the moment, stats wise. Last year he scored 34 goals in 31 appearances. Season before that he scored 22, 29, 30.
He should have won the Ballon d'Or.
He should have won the Ballon d'Or next year. And honestly, I think they should give him the Ballon d'Or for next year. Just give him it. Because he deserves it.
Last year, Messi?
Yeah. So it's one of those, like...
It is weird how Messi keeps being but Barcelona struggling that badly.
Exactly.
I don't get it.
Bizarre.
When you look at the...
I mean, that's another topic in itself, isn't it? You know, does Messi deserve all these Ballon d'Ors he's won? I mean, granted, I think maybe a few years ago when Barcelona were on top of their game, yeah, but recently the ones he keeps winning, no, I don't. I think the last 2 he doesn't fully deserve.
Then you could say the same for Ronaldo as well. Maybe more recently, obviously Ronaldo in the past, obviously he's been at Real Madrid until like the last couple of years, and he's obviously helped win them Champions Leagues. But then, since he's gone to Juventus, obviously Juventus haven't really gone far in Europe even.
Honestly, if I'm going to be perfectly honest with you, I don't see Messi or Ronaldo winning another Ballon d'Or.
They shouldn't really now. They're not really. They're not. The way that they're measuring it is based on Champions Leagues, and both Barcelona and Juventus haven't really got close to winning the Champions League in the last couple of years.
Juventus have got to a couple of finals.
Yeah, but not in terms of they haven't won it, have they?
No.
Since Ronaldo's been there, I think the best they've got is like quarter final, isn't it? Really?
Yeah. Well, they're struggling in the league as well. They're 5th in Serie A at the moment, I think.
That could be down to Pirlo though, because it's his first proper job in management. So it's hard to like. He's got to get used to like the managing style of play, and obviously like he wants his own methods and how to develop things, which might.
But obviously, that's going a bit off topic. We'll focus back on this one. So
goals a game. Haaland averages. Let me get back up again. Haaland averages a 0.58 goals a game, so it's just under a goal a game. Lewandowski at the moment is averaging a goal a game. So it's one of those. Haaland's doing it at 20 years of age, and he's got a better goal to game ratio than likes of Messi and Ronaldo at this age. But you need to look at now.
Not as good as Dan Jack there.
Yeah, banging in the goals for Man United at the moment. But with Lewandowski, he's very he does it on a regular basis. During his career, it's been a long time since Lewandowski's had a season where it's had under double figures in a season. And I don't think he'll ever won't do.
See, with Mbappe, it's for me it's different. I don't think he's a Lewandowski-esque striker. In my opinion, he's obviously not got the strength of Lewandowski, and probably Haaland in that regard. But the way I'd see him more is obviously more of a Luis Suarez striker because he's a lot. I think he's a lot pacier as because he's obviously not. He hasn't got the height. He hasn't the height of Haaland, obviously. But I think, like, obviously with his dribbling ability and he's like his hard working style of like running, I feel maybe long term it might benefit him more. Like because obviously Suarez, I'm comparing him to Suarez in that way. Because obviously Suarez didn't really slow down with that until he got to like his early 30s, really, like 32.
But really, realistically, I don't really see Mbappe as a number 9. I don't think he'll ever be a number 9 in his career.
I think the way that I don't know. I think maybe the way like he's built and maybe like the way how he plays the game, it could be a serviceable like sort of like pacey number 9, like more of like a.
I don't think his style of play will ever be in like Man United fans have the same debate with Rashford, like and Liverpool fans probably have the same debate with Mane and Salah. Like they're not a player that you put through the middle. Like they're a player that you put off either wing, if it's on the right or the left, and like they get the goals. They're an inside forward at the end of the day.
Obviously,
Haaland is a number 9, and he'll always will be a number 9.
If it's hard to really compare Mbappe to Lewandowski, then really in that regard because they're both.
I think King is more asking about goal scoring. Will there be better? Tell me if I'm wrong, King, but goal scoring.
The basic question I'm asking is: who can you see scoring more? Could you see anyone scoring or matching Lewandowski's goal tallies, consistency over a few seasons like he's getting? I'm not asking for like technical ability, if they're going to be better and stuff like that, because they could be in terms of dribbling, stuff like that. I expect definitely Mbappe. I'd say Mbappe's probably a better dribbler now anyway with the ball. But what I'm on about in terms of proper goal scoring mentality and in stats, can they beat Lewandowski and keep that consistency like he's done for years on end? Could they do that? Personally, for me, I'll say a quick say on it. I think Haaland. I honestly, actually, no. I don't think any of them will actually. I think Lewandowski for me.
Well, who? Okay. Who's more likely then? Because the way obviously Mbappe started his career. Obviously, we're going back to how quickly Mbappe rose onto this, like how long he's been on the scene in football at the moment. At the moment, the way
Haaland probably
quite far.
I think Haaland will always be consistent.
Well, bearing in mind
what goals that he'll score.
Bearing in mind, I don't think he'll have his pace for like a long period of his career.
Well, I think he'll adapt.
I don't know so much.
Yeah, but the thing is, they both got.
That would affect him badly if he loses his pace. Like, say if he gets like a really bad injury, that would dramatically like kill his pace.
You say that, Bennett, but Lewandowski hasn't got loads of pace, but he bangs in the goals.
You're not saying he'll reach Lewandowski's like area though. You just said.
I know. I mean, I don't think he will. I don't think any of them will really. I think they might get close, but I don't think any of them will get as close. Because for me, Lewandowski, I think you can mention him as. I mean, if you look at some of the best strikers ever to have existed, I think he's definitely in that category. He's an absolute machine. Just when it leaves his right foot or left foot, you know, there's a good chance he's going to be on target or in the back of the net. You know. For me, I think he's one of the best strikers in world football that they've ever seen.
And also, one more thing to add with Mbappe. Obviously, he's playing for a better international side, which I know. Obviously, it's not obviously Haaland's fault. He's got.
But the thing is, though, it kind of is his fault because
he's got the players around him to obviously know how he plays, link up with him properly to get more goals. And obviously, the World Cup in 2018 helped. That obviously he got the World Cup won there. So
it is kind of Haaland's fault because Haaland could have played for England. He was born in Leeds. He chose to play for Norway, which is granted, really, because with Haaland Norway at the moment, they've got a really good golden generation coming through, the likes of Odegaard coming through.
Norway, to be fair, Norway will be a tough team to beat. I'm
going to say this now. Are they in the Euros?
I think so.
Are they not? Wait.
That's what I mean, though.
Who does
Vestergaard?
What nation's Vestergaard?
International side, Norway. They've got great players in the team, but at the end of the day, I don't think that they'd like really challenge for anything. They might get to a final.
Denmark,
I think they'd win anything.
Denmark, I thought you might be Norwegian.
So looking at not Denmark, Norway's squad, they've got Erling Haaland, of course. They've got Soloff from from Leipzig. They've got Odegaard, Sander Berge, Ajer from Celtic. They've got a good crop of youngsters coming, like young players coming through.
But then you've got France though.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying.
You see France winning another tournament, definitely.
Oh yeah, easily. But I'm just saying they've got a good squad.
Well, I think
I'm not denying that, obviously, but I just feel France have more to obviously win more as a nation. Obviously, that would help Mbappe's case for longevity in scoring goals.
I think. Well, the next question we'll go on to, the last one, is. Well, actually, I haven't asked you either. Actually, do you think Haaland will surpass or be as good as Lewandowski in his prime? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Okay, George, do you think Mbappe will be as good as Lewandowski in his prime? Yes or no?
I think in terms of Lewandowski, I think he'll win more than Lewandowski maybe as a player. I don't know. I think he's got the ability to win a lot. In terms of goals, probably not, but I think in trophies, maybe. I'd say I think he could.
Fair enough. Well, speaking about trophies, the next question that we come on to, the final question about this debate series about Mbappe and Haaland, is who do we see, or you two specifically, who do you see becoming the most successful or winning more? Obviously, Mbappe's won a World Cup. He's won a lot more than Haaland already. But could you see Haaland moving to a big club? Who, although he's won more at the moment, obviously, if Haaland moves to a big club, obviously, the thing is, Mbappe is not going to not win anything again. I mean, at the moment, if he stays at PSG, he's pretty much guaranteed to win loads of Ligue 1 trophies and domestic cups. Whether they win the Champions League, I mean, personally, I think PSG this year, I think have got a good chance to win it because of just the team that they've got, and I think it might be their best chance. I mean, obviously, I think Bayern are probably going to be considered favourites. City as well could be up there. I think Liverpool could have a good run in the Champions League because I think it looks like you might be prioritising that. So I think the Champions League is a bit wide open this year. But if I had to predict anyone, I would say Bayern Munich to win it because, I mean, I know they've had a bit of a slip up since they've come back from the Club World Cup. I mean, they drew to Arminia Bielefeld 3-3, which is a disappointing result. And then they lost to Frankfurt, who are doing well in the Bundesliga. So, I think the Bundesliga title race, but I do think Bayern Munich will win it. Seems to be, and it's got a lot closer, and Leipzig are doing well as well. So, which made it even better result for Liverpool in midweek against a good Leipzig side. But who do we think will win the most trophies in their career? We'll start with Ethan first.
I think their next clubs will be a really big indication of how many trophies they'll win in their career. Individually, I think it's going to be really, really tight in like Ballon d'Ors. Who's going to win the most Ballon d'Ors out of the two? I think we're potentially going to be seeing like a Messi Ronaldo reign between these two players in the next few years.
Yeah, I agree with that, to be fair.
So, for example, if what we think will happen with Haaland going to City and Mbappe eventually going to Real Madrid, I think Real Madrid are more likely to get a Champions League than Man City for me, due to their history of the club, knowing how to win a Champions League and everything. We'll see if City will ever win a Champions League. I think it's inevitable that they will do, but they haven't done. And like they always fall at the last hurdle when it comes to the Champions League. Man City do.
Well, they've not even reached the final hurdle because the final hurdle is basically the final. They've not even got to the final yet. So
I think personally, if they don't win the Champions League, I think City, Pep's reign at City being classed as a failure.
I agree, and vice versa, and for PSG as well. If
exactly.
If PSG don't win, say if Mbappe doesn't win a Champions League with PSG or entirely in his career, then it would be classed as a failure because he's the sort of player who should be winning one. And obviously, if you're comparing, obviously you got Haaland at Man City. The Premier League's a tighter league in general. Like if everyone's on fire, fit and firing, obviously if you've got like a proper United side, a proper Liverpool side, maybe Chelsea in there as well, along with City, then Haaland's going to find it harder to win trophies. But obviously if you've got Real Madrid with Mbappe, you've only really got Barcelona and maybe Atletico that could pose a threat to a trophy.
You got to think logically as well. If Haaland goes to City, his last club will not be Man City because of his agent. Mbappe, if Mbappe goes to Real Madrid, you could argue his last club is Real Madrid, depending on the career he has.
It depends. I mean, obviously, we've got Lionel Messi who could potentially go to Man City as well from Barcelona. No one expected that really. So even if he sticks it out at Real Madrid and like he doesn't do as well, I think he could still do something at another club, maybe like a Juventus or maybe
Mbappe.
Yeah, maybe he could even go to a Premier League side as well, maybe at some point down the line. But obviously, we're thinking more like what would happen in their careers. But obviously, we got to look at what do we think.
I don't see. Unless Mbappe drops off massively, because Mbappe's not in his prime. You need to remember Mbappe's not in his prime at the moment.
Oh no.
So his stock will always increase. I do not see any club. I think mainly focusing financially, I don't see any club managing to pay the amount of money that Mbappe would cost in the future. No chance. Because he's not going to go back. Why would he go back to PSG? He's already been at PSG. PSG's Paris Saint-Germain is his hometown club. Why would he go back?
He might do it. Maybe feels like a connection, maybe with the fans or something. Maybe along like if obviously actual proper PSG fans, he might feel that like connection with them. He might want to go back and do some more with them, but that wouldn't be until the end of his career. I'd say obviously he'd spend more of his time at a big like Real Madrid or a.
People will look back at this podcast and say we predicted it.
Or Liverpool, obviously, but yeah.
But he's not going to Liverpool. Get out.
If I had to ask you to,
honestly, mate, if he goes to Liverpool, I'll tell you what, I'll be.
But so George, who do you think will win more trophies? Then do you feel it'd be Mbappe or Haaland?
I just feel the way that Mbappe's career is going, and I feel like with the potential destinations that he's got afforded to him, I feel Mbappe is going to be set up long term to join a team that will win trophies regularly.
Like you, Ethan?
I know it's going against my player, but I do think Mbappe will win more, mainly due to like the club that he's at now and the club that he'll probably be in the future. Haaland, arguably, he's got this. Mbappe, I think for me, it's inevitable that Mbappe goes to Real Madrid. I don't see any other club buying Mbappe, honestly. But with Haaland, due to his release clause and due to age, he's more likely to go to different clubs in his career. So, and with the Premier League, hopefully, fingers crossed, it's more of a league where it's open who may win, who might win. I know Man City are dominating at the moment, but Liverpool might come into play in a few seasons. United might come into play in a few seasons. Chelsea might come into play in a few seasons. Leicester maybe.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
so there's more variety of who could potentially win.
God.
Even Everton maybe. But I think if Haaland went to City, it's not for certain that City will win the Premier League every season. Like Real Madrid could potentially win the league every season in La Liga. So I do think Haaland will probably win more titles.
I feel that if Haaland went to City, he'd have a similar career to how Aguero ended when he was at City.
But I don't think he stays at City that long.
No, but okay. Well, obviously Aguero's obviously stayed at City for most of his like pro career. He's obviously made most of his prime at City, but I just feel that's how Haaland might like just end up. He might move on, and obviously he might try other clubs to see how if he can get more trophies under the bag and just build his legacy basically. But yeah, I know what you're saying, but I just feel Mbappe's the way his career's panning out so far.
Exactly, yeah.
He's on the way to winning a lot of trophies, no matter what club if he goes to this Real Madrid side.
And also thinking about it, I think career-wise, I think Haaland would probably be more of a Ibrahimovic type than a Lewandowski type, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But Ibras went to different clubs during his career and he's banged in the goals. Lewandowski's arguably been at two big clubs in his career.
True.
So,
well, obviously, it comes to the point where I have to decide who wins this debate. think both have made compelling arguments. I think, you know, if I have to go through it, it's a difficult decision because, you know, it's one of them that it could be tilted either way. I think, in terms of me, when it comes to as a player in the future, I think Mbappe's probably got more on his side because he's probably got more pace. He's probably got better agility and stuff like that. Whereas Haaland will have physical strength and be a threat from all areas in the box. So he'd be a predator, more of a predator possibly, where Mbappe will probably become a player where he'll be out more on the wing, or, you know, he'll be trying to cut in, scoring goals like that. That's the type of player he is.
You need to think, though, pace and agility can leave you towards the end of the career. You'll always have your strength. You'll always have your physicality.
Hang on, so can physicality then? If you're bearing it on that, then
name one striker who's lost their physicality due to an old age. He was physical.
Could you count Alan Shearer? Alan Shearer surely lost that sort of physicality.
No, he didn't.
I'm pretty sure he did.
No, he didn't.
I'm pretty sure he did.
No, he didn't.
And Mbappe, Haaland will lose his pace as well. I'd say probably quicker as well because of the frame of him.
Haaland hasn't really got that much pace.
Oh, Haaland's rapid.
Not compared to Mbappe.
Compared to Mbappe, you don't compare him, but don't underestimate Haaland.
We're not, but like
Ethan, Mbappe, he's not as quick as Traore or Alphonso Davies.
I'd say so. No, yes, he is.
No, he's not. No, he's not.
He is.
No, he's not.
I'd say he's up. No, I'd say he's one of the fastest players in the world. But
yeah,
my point is with Haaland, like he's the goal. Like I was watching on Twitter the other day, well, no, not the other day, today. Dortmund were in their box. Haaland wins ahead. They pass it to Sancho. Sancho's running down the centre of the goal. You see Haaland running, like keeping it on pace with Sancho. And Sancho lays off to Haaland, and he blasts into the top corner.
Sancho's not that.
Then you can look at Mbappe's going to Barcelona, where he absolutely blitzes past PK.
I'm not saying Haaland's quicker than Mbappe.
I know that.
All I'm saying is Haaland's quick. Haaland's still quick.
Okay, I'm not denying that, but I just feel if you were running one-on-one against if you're running against the defence, who would you prefer to have? The pace of Mbappe, or like say Haaland, who maybe isn't as fast, but maybe players can get back into him.
I mean,
for me, Haaland's a complete striker.
Bloody Ethan could get past bloody Gerard Piqué. Yeah, that's Gerard Piqué's.
Well, you can't disrespect Piqué.
He's got a point.
He's done well. No, I don't know. I just feel.
All I'm saying is, the attributes Haaland has as a player will have more longevity in his career compared to Mbappe's attributes now.
I don't think so.
His attributes, his key with Mbappe's key attributes, you can say now, is his agility, and his pace. Those two attributes decrease when you're hitting like 29, 30.
But then you're saying Haaland's got pace as well. But with
Haaland, his key attributes is his physicality and his finishing. Those attributes don't leave you.
I think I'm out of my mind.
I don't know. I don't know if I agree with
that. It's a bloody hard decision for me. If I'm going to, mine's telling me one thing, and the other side's telling me other stuff. You know, they've both got pros and cons. If I had to be brutally honest, it's a very, very close call. They're both fantastic and amazing players and have great careers. But if I had to pick, I'm going to go just on the fact that the goal scoring and the record that he'll have, I'm going to have to go for Haaland.
Yes!
It's very close. I mean, I could have easily said Mbappe, but it's just come down to me. What's the main point of a striker, and that is to put the ball in the back.
Come back to me. I want to have the last word on this because it's
put
ridiculous.
the W's in the chat.
Come back to me when they both retire. Who will have the more trophies in their career?
Put the W's in the chat.
Who will look back on their winners' medals and go?
Well, that's the point. That's the point of a debate, George. The point
I'm just saying. You find that okay. I get that, but I'm just going to say now. If you go in the future now, if you look at their careers and you go, who had the better career, you will people say Mbappe. I'm going to say that.
Okay, George, you may well be right, and I'll hold hands up if he does, and I'm sure he will. But at the moment it's hard to pick. But if I look into the future, I just think his goal scoring ability. I'm not saying Mbappe is a bad finisher at all. Mbappe is a very good finisher. He's fantastic, in fact. I mean, he's just got a hat-trick against Barca. But, in terms of...
Barcelona, they're the best team in the world.
Barcelona, yeah, I know, but
reputation of them, though. You can't, it's a reputation-based thing.
Yeah,
well, but Nottingham Forest got reputation.
Yeah, okay. That's just silly. Yeah, they are a big club, but, Barcelona are still, although they are struggling, they are a team that's still in the Champions League and considered one of the better sides.
Well, okay, all right. Just quickly, who's Haaland like? Has Haaland scored against a big team in that way? Then
he scored against PSG.
Yeah, did they win the game? Did they win?
Yeah. They won the game. They won the game, but he scored against PSG.
But they got knocked out the next round. Yeah, okay, granted, but Haaland.
Mbappe's done better against bigger teams.
I know.
And you argue. All I'm saying is, the Champions League. You don't play against all the big teams. It's a luck of a draw. So you can't blame Haaland.
Towards the end, you do though.
You can't. It's the big clubs he's played against. He scored against them. He scored against Liverpool. He scored against PSG. He scored against Bayern.
He didn't win in those games, did he?
The question is he scoring? Is he scoring in those games?
But you got to,
George, you could say
he didn't win the games with Mbappe's won those games.
Okay, no, but okay, PSG they get battered 6-0 by Barcelona again. So is Mbappe on the same level as Haaland then because he didn't win the next game?
Well, no, but it's
the point I made in the first leg of that Champions League game.
To him at the moment.
In the first leg of that Champions League game, Haaland scored against PSG.
Yeah, but he could have done maybe something in the second leg which got them through that game that time into PSG. Obviously, when the pressure was on him, he obviously didn't perform to that level. He did it in the first leg. Anyone can do it in the first leg, but it's the second leg that counts. And PSG were the team that did it.
So Haaland scored 2 in the first leg, and PSG scored 2 in the second leg. And also Mbappe didn't score either leg of that game. Just saying.
Yeah, but it's going to be remembered at the end of his career who's won more in terms of trophies, and obviously
that's based on.
There'll come a point where Mbappe will have that moment as well. But I just feel that if you look at their careers come the end of their time in football, Mbappe would have won more, in my opinion. Okay. Fair enough.
Okay, we'll obviously we'll see in the future. But I just on terms of goals, I've based my thing on goals for me at the moment. And yeah, granted, I do think Mbappe will win more. For me, it's a difficult one. I'm going to stick with Haaland. I could easily go and say I think Mbappe, but I do think I'm going to stick with Haaland and just say that
I think Haaland has more longevity in his career. Mbappe gets an ACL injury, he's not got the same pace he does now.
You could say the same with Haaland though, especially as he's a bigger man as well.
But he's more physical. Haaland's a more complete striker than Mbappe.
I'll tell you what. All level. Mbappe won more, but Haaland, for me, I think will still be a bigger goal scorer than Mbappe. But I think Mbappe will win more, but I think Haaland will win a lot as well. But anyway, that's my.
All I'm saying is, if you have that attitude, that means Paul Scholes better centre mid than Steven Gerrard.
But there's different ways. And then you're saying, oh well,
that is another topic to discuss.
That could be we could have a whole story on that. Ethan.
Exactly. So from a final review of the whole thing, I'm going to give it to Ethan on a 55-45 basis. Ethan wins this debate. Very close. George did put in some very good points, and George could be fully right in the future, and we'll have to hold our hands up and we'll look back at this and be like, told you so. And I'll be the first to hold my hands up and say, yep, correct, George. But
let's face it, when it does happen, we'll be in our 40s.
what?
When we do talk about...
He's got point. We'll
when we do talk about when...
Well, anyway. But yeah, so I'm going to give this one to you for 55-45 basis. Because I just think Mbappe will have more goals in him. Haaland will have more goals in him, sorry. Which I think will ultimately determines the point of a striker. But obviously, you want to win stuff as well. But yeah, so I'm going to stick with that. So thanks very much, guys, for watching this podcast.
Put in the comments your opinions on both players.
I mean, personally,
if
it's going to be me, I think Dan James, Amad Diallo, and Shola Shatur are going to have much better careers and going to be Ballon d'Or winners for 10 years. But that's my opinion. I mean, Dan James, for me, I think he's better than Mbappe by a country mile. But anyway, that's
for me, Coach Jones would be the best midfielder in world football.
As Kylian Mbappe scores a wonder goal versus Newcastle. No, he hasn't.
No, he hasn't scored a 10-yard shot. He just can't do it. But anyway,
is Mbappe bagging goals in the Europa League?
Goal in the FA Cup against Everton. That's what I'm going to say.
Exactly. Anyway, but so this one I'm going to give to Ethan. So congratulations, Ethan. But fair play to George. He caught me some very good points and some things that could make you change your mind. I mean, we could change your mind in a couple of years' time. I might say to myself, in the next couple of seasons, we could revisit it and go, obviously what we could do is maybe in a future episode, so I think, maybe in a year or 2 years' time, depending on how players get on, we could maybe revisit it and maybe say, do we still agree with our points from there? Because obviously the videos are still going to be up on the channel. And obviously we do intend to keep going. Obviously we don't intend to stop. So we can always revisit this back in the future as a potential talking point, which will be interesting, and we can change or see if we agree with each other then. But anyway, so that will come and bring an end to this podcast. It's been good to be like the adjudicator, because it's obviously I've argued before and my points, and obviously I won the last one, but he's got to win my next one against these.
I want to host next because I'm getting fed up of my points being.
But George will be the next one, and Ethan, me and Ethan will be next. I don't know if it's going to be next week. I think it might be. But yeah, so it's been a good one. So I want to say thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed our recent video, and I hope you look forward to this one. We're going to do a slightly different way of doing it this time. We're going to upload clips during the week, so you can get a little sneak peek at certain big talking points, and then we're going to upload the full video so you can watch it all in glory. But so once again, thank you very much, guys, for your recent support on the channel. We really much appreciate it. We definitely feel that we are kicking on and bringing better content, and hopefully soon, we obviously the announcement of the roadmap today, we might be able to start doing it in the studio within the next couple of months. So
bench on tour.
Exactly. And obviously as well, with possible summer being, summer looking good possibly this year. Obviously still early days yet, but summer looks possibly a lot more bright than it did last year. We might be able to go to some foreign stadiums, or maybe even or even just some big stadiums, and we can get some good podcasts. So there's much to look forward to this year. So, but anyway, that will be me. And thank you very much, guys, for watching. And it's goodbye from George.
Goodbye, guys. Thanks for watching.
And it's goodbye from Mr. Peter Ethan Cunnis.
Put the W's in the comments. George Bennett, you're in the bit.
Yeah. But anyway, yes, guys. So hope you continue to stay safe and enjoy the videos. And thanks very much for watching. And we'll see you in the next podcast very soon. Thank you, guys. Goodbye.
Peace.
Good evening, everyone. everybody a pleasure and a privilege as always to be at Anfield, where we are hoping for another miracle like Istanbul. Shaqiri in his own half, rolls it square towards Matip. Mitchell van to Mane, mistake, Mane into the area, great skill, Henderson's in the box, Henderson,
City celebrating. The party really is just getting started. They've had to wait a very long time.